worries, no worries.
Like how life gets. Okay, maybe.
Participants copy invite link. Okay, so I'm gonna text it to you, and once you get it, I'll hang up here.
Oh, sure. You don't want to follow me around my house? I don't understand why this isn't working. Like you wouldn't want to see our entire house and how life's going. Okay, let me log into my computer and then I will find the second child and send them to his sports.
Sure.
And then I should have you will have my undivided attention. I'll have one on TV and one gone. That's always a win. Okay, here's my computer. Let me make sure I have that link and then oh, he still has time. Okay.
Now I texted you the link. Do you want me to email it to you?
Oh, hang on here. Hang on. Let me just. I'm fine with the text.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see it.
Okay. And once you get on here, I'll shut down FaceTime.
No, sure. Okay. Let me. All right. Sorry, it's got to re-download Zoom. I think because I've been using Teams, so
I think I could use Teams. I'm not sure. Well, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's opened. Okay. Now let me see if it will just go directly to it. Okay. Oh, is my face going to be in your video? Are you looking at me right here?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think what I'll do is I'll just share. Okay, so first let me hang up on FaceTime, right?
Okay, bye.
Okay. Okay. And I will share my screen. Share. Okay.
Perfect.
Right. Let me delete this. Okay, so I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's recording, right?
It did say it on my phone.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so its temporary home is on bicycles.com, bicyclelessons.com/handwriting. But
okay, so it's the /handwriting because that's like what I couldn't get to. I couldn't figure out the link earlier today.
Yep, here it is at the top right here.
Okay, I'm gonna just Google it on here and make sure that's not what I want to do.
And I can send that to you as well. So it's bicyclelessons.com/handwriting. And again, it'll find a new home elsewhere, but whoop. But I'm gonna
can you see me?
Send this to you. Okay.
Okay. Oh, I got it. Okay, no, you're right. Like when you say it's the / that, no, it's right there.
Yep. Okay. So first off, what I did was you'll see 2 templates that you can download. So the first one is an actual handwriting sheet.
Okay.
So if you click on it,
got it.
It should download it and you can open it up. And it's a PDF and there's 2 pages. And I put them sequentially based on age norms.
Yeah.
And so, like can they connect the dots? Then can you write the vertical line in an empty box below and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the quick red dog jumped over the quick red fox jumped over the lazy brown dog, which has all the letters. Now you can also time that so you can get your time, letters and words per minute if you wanted to, right?
Sure.
And also numbers, and you can draw a person because it's kind of, you can see how they draw, and you can also talk to them about their family and stuff like that. So that's this sheet, right? And then the other sheet is it should open up as a Word document. And bear with me.
No, bear with me. I just X'd out by accident. But yeah, the upside down.
Why isn't it opening? There it is. Okay.
Okay.
So it'll look something like this. And how I've done it right now, everything is in yellow, right?
Right.
But what you can do is, so for example, if flexors are an issue, where is that? You would go to view, header. Where's the thing? home. There it is. You click on home and you could change, let's say this to, where's the little bucket? Is this it? To red? Nope, that's not it. Boy, they
You-
updated it. It looks different.
Are you talking about the underline, like not to have it colored?
No, no. So the way I present it to the parents is everything is on one page.
Okay.
Red is area of difficulty, yellow is mild impairment, and green is
Got
relative strength. Keeping in mind that none of this is really standardized, right?
Correct.
So if you wanted to, first, why is it? This is the strangest thing. Where's the little color palette? They've changed everything. I think it just updated it.
No worries.
So weird. So we don't want text color. We want fill color. And usually there's like a little bucket.
Hang on, I'm trying to see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got it. Yeah. No, I don't have it, but I know what you're talking about. It did used to look like a bucket.
Right? And it's gone.
Oh, here's my bucket. Do you see? Look, go like 4 over by the shaded box. Yeah, I got it.
Or over by the shaded box. Oh,
Okay.
there it is. There it is.
You see
Why
it?
did they moved it? Why did they do that? Okay. So for example, writing and cutting might be an issue, right? But their balance is just fine. Right. And you may be saying to yourself, why is balance important? So if their vestibular system is out there, they might have trouble sitting in their chair, or they might have trouble with all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, here you would have everything in one place, and you could see the child, and you can basically point out to the parents, hey, the kid has mostly green. There's just like a couple of yellows and one or two reds, so we're doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll notice also there's a number next to each one. So for example, this is number 13. This, by the way, is mostly out of the SIPT, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So number 13, if you go to the next page, 2 pages over, I should say, here's number 13. And it actually describes verbal praxis. Wait, what did I say? Verbal practice? 1 second. 13. Yes, verbal praxis. I'm sorry. I thought vestibular, but verbal praxis, right? The ability
Okay.
to listen and follow teachers' verbal directions. Example, hearing and executing a teacher's oral instructions. And of course, that's important for handwriting, because if it's somebody's dictating and they have to write down what the teacher's saying, that could be something that is an area of difficulty for them. So it's all
Yeah.
meant to be like a really simple explanation for the teacher and the parents to understand, ideally the teacher.
Yeah. Awesome.
Here, I have an area for insert handwriting sample, which of course is this, right? This sheet.
Yes. Swim.
Or you
Yeah.
could just take a snap. So what I usually do is I take a snapshot, like I hold it up, take a snapshot on my laptop, if you have a Mac or a computer that has a camera, and
Yeah.
then just copy just the part that I want, and I put it in here. So
Okay. Yeah.
if you want to show like the quick red box jump, this would go here, so someone would see that. And then I've got little check boxes here, which I'm planning on having it activated. But so you could either exit like this, right?
Uh-huh.
Or you could just delete the ones that don't make sense so that it's not overwhelming, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Just
What I
leave the
mean?
one slide.
Yeah. And then this way, because real estate is a bit of an issue. And then, of course, you have like which lines were they able to draw, which shapes were they able to draw, what kind of. I know that someone went on about how many more hand grips there are, but this is a general idea of what it is. You can, of
Yeah.
course, describe it yourself.
Yes. And you got to circle one and write a thing inside of it.
Right. So, for example, if it's J, it's dynamic tripod grasp, right?
Mhm.
All the way at the bottom here.
Yeah.
And so, as you can see on 2 pages, you've got basically everything you could possibly think of, for the most part, for handwriting,
Yeah. Awesome.
right? And the whole test theoretically should take you like 10, 15 minutes max, and the write up. Well, once I get the AI working, it'll be almost instantaneous. But for you to write this up should be, no sweat. And then you have a little bit of space here below if you wanted to write something of your own, right?
Oh, yeah.
The next 2 pages are, of course, the explanation for each of like, what is rapid alternating movement, or let's say kinesthetic praxis, try to explain that to a parent. But here you would say body awareness in space, a person's ability to sense and understand their position, movement, orientation of their body parts in relation to each other, surrounding environment without relying on visual cues. And it says a student with body awareness difficulties may present themselves as restless because they need to constantly move to know where they are in space. They may also have difficulty with handwriting and sports, right?
Yeah.
So everything kind of relates everything back to handwriting and school.
I got it. Perfect. Do you like for the glossary, like do you just leave all those in there, or like do you do the same thing
Yeah.
like
So even if it's a green thing here, right?
Yeah.
So if this is green,
yes.
I still leave that there.
Okay.
People may want to know, well, what is an STNR? What is a palmar reflex?
Right. Okay. So you don't tend to take out the glossary, anything.
Nope.
You just send it with them. Okay.
Yeah. And this is meant to be like a really quick and easy, but really detailed screener. And then from there, you can choose other ways of testing or, be it standardized or not.
Right.
Makes sense?
It does. I love it.
Okay. And then so back to this, I was
Okay.
asked to break it down into subcategories because you don't have to, you can only just do the fine motor or handwriting and nothing else, right?
Okay.
And
Right.
it's meant to work really off of your iPhone or your Android device.
Okay.
So that when you're right there, you tap on stuff, write your email, and it emails you your summary, if that makes sense.
Wait, repeat that one more time. It's
Totally
supposed to
cool.
after the like
So let's
Android
say
phone
you
part.
just want to do handwriting, right? You don't want to do the
Okay.
other areas. Like you're not interested in doing a visual system or sensory.
Okay.
You just want to do handwriting, right?
Okay.
So here, when you mouse over the letter I, it actually gives you
Okay.
instructions on what it is. So for example, if you were looking at letters per minute, here it tells you how to calculate it.
Oh, wow.
And all the instructions are in there. So for example, if you're doing, let's say the sensory system, whoopsie daisy, if you're doing the sensory system and you
Uh-huh.
here are the kinesthetic instructions. We're going to move your finger from, and this is right out of the SIPT. So I'm
Okay.
copying them, right? I'm not copying them. I'm not using their materials, but I'm getting the gist of it. So, you take their finger and you say, this is your house. This is where your friend lives. And you do that with their eyes open, then you have their eyes closed. And you do the same thing and you do left side, close, far, and crossing midline. And then you do the same thing on the right side, close, far, crossing midline. And you kind of get a sense of where in space they have trouble. Can they cross the midline? Do they find it easier closer or further from their body?
Okay. So here's like a random question because
Mhm.
I've done this SIP like ever. And I'm gonna assume there's other people that I'm working with that haven't either.
Right.
So like I wonder now this should be in a perfect world. Like if I asked if you would want to do like a Zoom or a Teams and like not I know you're not copying the sit, but like if you went through because I'm even thinking like the rapid alternating movement test,
Mhm.
like to sort of like run through like random
Sure.
and be able to like demonstrate them.
Absolutely. So
Okay.
for the
I
RAM,
mean, but now,
see
like,
here are the instructions. Use your thumb and touch to
oh
each
wait, is it
finger,
on?
then with your eyes closed, right? And then
Wait, where did you get that?
where did I get what?
Where it says use your thumb, one hand,
Oh,
and
remember I was saying not every, but most of these will have a little eye
oh,
next to it.
under
And if
the
you tap it
eye.
on your phone, the instructions will come out.
I got.
In fact, some of these, the more difficult ones, they actually have a
Um,
video that you can watch. I'm
I
trying
was like
to,
trying to make you extra money here,
well,
but
for
it's all
now,
there.
yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that enough people use this because honestly, nothing against handwriting without tears. I think they did a fantastic job. And I looked at some of the other tests that are out there. There
Yeah,
was one in particular, but it went into like spelling and grammar, and it's like this is not appropriate for OT. I mean, I suppose it's interesting, but it's more scholastic. So I
yeah,
want to really just, and I know that there's other areas too, but this really is probably 80–90% of, in my opinion, what you need. And it's fairly easy. Like, for example, here on divergence, it explains to you how to do divergence, right? Which is this and this, right?
Yeah, that's what I know. See, I'm gonna have to look at
And
these.
see, here, I actually put a tracking video to see, to show you how to actually do it. So if you click on the little tracking, visual tracking video, it'll open up the video. Interestingly enough, if I move it on my desktop, it disappears because I created it mostly to be used on your iPhone or Android,
Sure.
right? So that when you're in school, you could just tap and everything is accessible. You don't have to lug around in a laptop or a notebook.
Sure. Sure. Okay, when you say small object manipulation, so A-2 fine motor development table, page
Which one are
140.
you in?
I have no idea. Hang on. I'm still in fine motor. I never left fine
Oh, you're
motor.
still on Fine Motor. Okay, great. No worries.
Under the small object manipulation.
Yep.
So like that reference under the I, are you saying it's A2 in the berry, page 148, or is that something different?
Yeah, so I cited everything because I didn't want to,
Yes, I get
plagiarize. And the Beery is awesome, by the way. There's so much information in there that most of us don't use. If you ever went into their appendices, I really encourage you to do that. It's awesome.
really? Okay.
Yeah, it really is quite good. So that's why I put it in there because that's where I pulled from. In fact, if I can show you one cool thing that I did, and this,
Yeah.
I don't think most of the people that use this, but I think it's pretty cool. So see the very last one, teacher screening by age?
What's wrong?
Are you sure that they're coming?
Yes, they're at 4:15, which is right now. Do you have your towel and goggles and everything?
Mom mode engaged.
All the time. Your video will to multitask. Yeah.
So
Screening by age.
the very last thing, the teacher screening by age. So let's say, what age group do you have? Just pick an age.
Oh my gosh. Like of all those, but let's just go with like a standard 6 to 8 year old.
Okay, 6 to 8. Okay, so this is from the CDC, by the way. So this is a checklist you would give to your teacher, right? And you can choose multiple things, right? And here it looks at all the developmental observation, all the things they should be doing, and like prints and so forth. Can they do that? And then the teacher can even give you some feedback if they wanted to. And that could be a great referral source because sometimes the teacher like, the kid needs OT, and so you would say, well, how old's the kid? Here's a checklist, right?
Nice.
You know
Okay.
where to start.
To get this to them, Wakefields, click on the
So
dark.
what you
Yeah.
would do you see right here all the way at the top where it says bicycle lessons teacher 6 to 8 checklist?
Yes.
You see that and you send it to them, and they can either put your email here and here, or they could put their email, and it will send it to them and they could forward it to you. And whatever they click as a positive, that's the only thing that'll print on the report. So you don't have to read through a bunch of stuff. It'll only give you the pertinent stuff that's positive or, positively
Oh,
checked.
sweet. So
Sweet.
then like, if they're okay, so let's just do like visual motor problem areas. So if they clicked on, yes, I'm in the same checklist. Sorry. If they click print all numbers 0 to 9 in all letters without copying, like okay, hold on. So let me move up. If they click prints 3 or more, does that mean like if they leave that highlighted, that's the problem?
Well, you know what? That's a good question. I always assumed
Okay, Matt.
be negative, like they cannot. But you know what? I need to word that correctly. Like only check the things that the kid has difficulty doing.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna do because like okay, Matt. Yeah, like that's what I'm thinking, like less for them. Like
I will
don't
update that. That's actually a good point. So I should say something like, please only check the things that they have trouble with.
exactly, yes. And then like that way we only get that, but then like
Yep.
I'm
Good
envisioning
point.
they have to click more everything that they do great, they're like not gonna do it.
Gotcha. I'll update that. That's actually a good point. I don't know why I never thought about that. Because I don't think enough OTs use this, which is a shame, because I think it's a really cool referral source.
Oh, I
So
think Well, I'm like pumped up because they have a referral sheet here and it is really easy and like it is, it's only one sheet, but
Mhm.
like they check grasp and release handwriting 90% of the time. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, okay, well, like that's okay. I feel like they can grab and release. So hold on here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so like this would just be a give you a better idea and also give them a better idea of what we can offer to.
right.
Um, yeah, no, if you update that, I mean, just my opinion, that would be great. But you could ask other people.
No, I like that. And is there any other, and again, we, as I was saying to you earlier, we shall not name your school.
I know.
You want, I'm happy to set up like a, 30-minute intro on all of this kind of stuff for your school. And it saves so much time because what I do is I just take that report, that multi-page report, and that's
Yeah.
part of my IEP, and it's so easy to explain to people.
Yes, it really is. I'm gonna ask them because I'm trying to decide like if I would be able to like explain it. I'm like, oh, I don't want to explain it wrong. And then what if they have a question I can't answer it?
So, I
Um,
mean, in the few minutes we have left, if you want, tell me which other area you want me to go over.
I don't know. I'm so mesmerized because I didn't get to look at it before we called because I didn't get the handwriting forward slash, so I got like so back into.
Like for me,
Um,
the ones that I find reflexes are probably the number one reason I find. And then I find the sensory system is also, and believe it or not, the visual system. And all the parents will say, oh, my kid has 20/20 vision. It's like, well, that's great for acuity, 25,
yeah,
20 feet. But then you ask them to move their eyes and they're like googly eyes. One goes this way, one goes this way. It's and it's like, well, how does your kid read and write? Their eyes don't team, they don't saccade, they don't do anything that they're supposed to. And this
yeah,
happens a lot, a lot. And so I remember with one kid, he couldn't read and write middle school, had a dossier that was like this thick with every diagnosis. And I found out afterwards that he actually had a brain injury when he was small. It actually hit his occipital lobe, which the way, right? But nobody put two and two together. And so I asked for a vision coach, and all she did was patch one of his eyes. And within a couple of weeks, he was actually reading at an elementary school level, and he could never read prior to that. And they thought he was dyslexic, and this and that. So all these little tidbits they're right there, but
they
we
are right
have to
there.
know which questions to ask, right?
Right. Or know, like, hey, if you did this visual screening, like, what would you say is like, okay, when you looked at the screening, if you said yes, yes, and this to this, like, what would be okay, you would address as OT, and like, what would you refer out to like a vision? You know what I mean?
Right. And all school system have a vision therapist that I think just people don't know what's appropriate. They think it's just for blind, but it's not, and if a kid's muscles or the eyes aren't teaming, or there's all these little things that you can tweak and it just changes their life. It's such an amazing thing. So
Right. So this
let's
is probably
click on the visual system, speaking of which, right? So figure ground, pretty easy. Can you point and say, hey, where's the light switch, right? There it is, right? Um,
yeah,
can we shift from left to right, right? And you keep about an inch from there, and you ask them not to move their head, because if they can't separate their head and eye movement, that's something else to note, right? So you're doing
right.
this, and you're doing this, and you do an H pattern,
Okay. Oh,
slower than this. I'm just speeding it up. And then you can do an O pattern where they're following with their eyes, and then O going the other way.
okay. Oh,
Can they fixate on, or do their like, and if they lose fixation, is it a vision thing or is it an attention thing? So you're kind of like doing detective work, right?
yes, yes. The visual attention seems to be huge. I feel like everyone goes to visual attention.
Right.
Yes.
Convergence, like can their eyes go into convergence, when your kid's doctor does this, and then just as they touch
Right.
the nose, the eyes pop back. So converging is important because you're looking down at a page. Do the eyes focus on that one thing, or because if they don't converge, then you're looking at the whole page, right? Can they
Hmm.
diverge, which is this, right? When you're taking the finger away, meaning that can the eyes sort of move from, looking straight at your nose to like midline, and then you can see the blackboard, right? We did the H pattern, the O pattern, And that's it. And that's look how easy it is. Look how much information you get out of that.
Crazy. I'm like, seriously, I'm like, just, I'm like mind blown in a way. Like, I'm like, just, wow. I don't even know what to say. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
But I want,
And and if you whoopsie daisy, and if you have suggestions on what you would like to see it added or removed or whatnot, like for example, memory is a super easy one. So you do
yeah,
digit span, right? Like I'm going to, say some numbers and I want you to wait till I'm done and then say them back. And you say 3, 8, 6,
uh-huh.
and they have to say it back. And then if you want, so that's just memory, right? That's just memorizing a series of information, right?
Right.
Sequential. But now, if you do digits backwards, that's working memory. And those are the kids, they can follow a routine that they know, but you give them something new and they fall apart. Like it's funny, they'll remember like six or, it's usually almost like one item per year of their, it's a dirty way, um, but some of them, they can remember, let's say 6, 7 numbers, but then when you ask them to do it backwards, they can't do more than 2. They just can't. And
I didn't like that actually. And I was like, wow, like he couldn't.
right.
It
So
took,
then with working memory, the first one is, if I say 2, 5, you say them backwards, right? So you would say 5, 2, and
right.
2, 5, let's say 5, 2, and you say 7, 2, 9. And then I put the answer on there as well so that you don't have to, if you're doing 20 things, the
Yeah.
answer is there, 9, 2, 7, right? And
Right.
it's really interesting because then you can. So the whole point is like if you get sightedness and memory and vision. So you might say like this is a really cool one. Here, where is it? Hold on a second. Not reflexes. Handwriting. Is it fine motor? 1 second. Not handwriting reflexes. I think it's gross motor. Oh, so this is a really cool one. Hand, eye, foot, ear. Sounds like not an interesting thing, but what's interesting is if they don't have a dominant side, like left ear, right arm, left foot, you know, um, they're a bit of a mess in a sense, right? Uh,
Uh-huh.
but you could still make that into a positive. You could say, you know what, they're left ear dominant. So if you're going to talk to them, try to talk to them on the left side. Or if they're right eye dominant, put them maybe on the left side of the room so the information that's on the left is not important, but they could see everything on the right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, for
Um,
example, the way I test the ear is so this is really simple. You just need a piece of paper. And I actually have a video for how to do that. But you take a piece of paper and you make a tube out of it and you say, and you put it in your midline to their midline, right? And you just say, I want you to look through it like a telescope. Here you go. And see, I put it right in the midline. And you see which
uh-huh.
hand they go with. And if you can do it more than once. But usually they'll reach with their dominant hand and then they'll put it to their dominant eye. So mine is the right dominant arm, right dominant eye. But if I did this, or if I put it in the middle, which some of them do, you got a problem. No, surprisingly, a number of the kids do that, right?
That's
So now you know
wild.
the arm, you know the eye, and then you say, hey, do me a favor. I'm going to crumple this up, and you put it right in front of their feet, both feet, center line, and you say, kick it. And it's amazing how many of them can't kick it, right? They can't coordinate their body, but
Yeah.
some of them do.
Right.
Most of them do, I should say. And then you say, hey, do me a favor, walk over there, put your ear on the door, and tell me if you hear anything, right? And as they walk, do they have an arm swing, right? Like, is there coordination between gross motor wise between both sides of their body? And
Hmm.
whatever ear, like if I put my ear like this, now I know it's my right ear, right?
Yeah.
Look how much information you have, and you can tell the teacher right off the bat. Sit them on the left side of the room, talk to them on the right side of the ear. Position the paper here, and what's interesting is a lot of them will reach with the left, and it's like somebody trained them the wrong way. They should have been a lefty, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
that's where you can ask the parents, like, when they play sports, do they, how do they stand? Is it a left, right? And they'll be like, oh, well, they do everything left in sports, but everything else, like fine motor, they do right. And it's like, interesting. Okay. So,
Great. Thanks.
yeah. And of course, throughout, there's all sorts of ways of looking at crossing midline. We just talked about a couple, crossing with your eyes, crossing with your hands, and so forth. We did the RAM, right? Small object manipulation. Um,
Hmm.
Why is there where there's several crossing midlines? It is so interesting how just stuff with computers happens. I don't know how IT people do this without losing their sanity, because that's and and then there's like stuff on tactile, and that's right out of the SIPT.
Sure.
Oops, prone extension, right? See, so I show you like how to do it, right?
Uh-huh.
Superflexion, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you put over the eye, it shows you how to do it. So most of the things that could be confusing are either instructions provided or have a video or a picture.
Okay. Okay.
Play
Oh,
with it, and
I I am. I'm absolutely gonna play with it. I think it's awesome. I'm gonna recommend it to our meeting. And then yeah, if it's too confusing and I don't do a great job, I'm gonna let you know. Or like you said, I mean, we have a vocal group, so they'll say like, "Oh my gosh, why isn't this?" or "Why is it this?" or
right, I'm
whatever.
happy to do like a half hour with with you guys and help you out. But if you need more, I might have to ask for some. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I'm happy to help out.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I hear what you're saying. And I'll say that. Like, hey, if it's like 30 minutes, whatever, but if it's more than that, like, it has to be something different.
Right. And I just want to help everybody. I really think this gives you like to me this color coded report, that
Yeah.
you could like look, you could see immediately your eyes drawn to writing and cutting and
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
forth. And if you're doing a number of sequence steps, well, that would be great if they did 23. Anyway, so and that's it. And you just, you put your name in here and that's it.
I can't believe you created this. This is wonderful. Like thank you.
Yeah, because I hate handwriting and I hate, oh, by the way, and the child's name goes up here, right? So if
Yeah.
you will click in the header and it'll appear on every page, right?
Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, I just hate it that everyone is referred for handwriting and uh,
Mhm.
they they're like, well, just give them a pencil grip. And it's like, oh my God. It's not
Well, I feel like it's become like where I am like they want me to be a handwriting teacher. They're
yeah.
like, "Well, he write A to Z." And I'm like,
Right.
"Dude, I'm trying to tell y'all that like, the profession is not that I teach him how to write A
Right.
to Z." Like,
Figure it out and you help the teacher to implement. Like, for example, for the visual system, I'll give you a really cool thing I invented. If a kid has issues where it's too big or they can't be on the line or they start, so we're not talking about midline where there's like a natural curve where it kind of falls off, but just
mhm.
you know what I'm talking about, right? Too big, too whatever. So I'll take a piece of those file folders. They're plastic and they have two pockets, one on each side, right? They're
Yeah.
red or green or
No
blue.
bra like no
Right.
brat.
Right. So you take a page, you take an X-Acto knife. I wish I had one. Actually, hold on a second. Look what I have. Ta-da! That
Yeah.
over the page, but it's opaque enough that you can actually see through it, right? And for those kids that have math problems where they have difficulty carrying and stuff, if you make the right size box, you could literally eliminate the whole page and they're just working on the one thing. And of course, you could change. Sometimes I'll have different widths and heights and so forth based
Mhm.
on the paper they're using. But you would be amazed how quickly this fixes vision issues.
That's wild.
The sizing just automatically clicks. Within a couple of weeks or months, you haven't done any intervention in this, does it all for you. So if it's not a student that, for example, really needs OT, but kind of maybe, that's a really good one for vision. And that's the other thing I can help your colleagues is give them ideas on what to do with each one of these if they're an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be awesome. Even that, like the folder, pointers like that. This has been wonderful. It's been really helpful.
I'm just trying to think what else I could. Yeah, that's I mean, I've got a whole bunch of other ones. One of yeah, see here's like an opaque one, right?
Mhm,
See
mhm.
right through it. Um, so if you do, you could kind of see right through it, right?
Yeah.
So
Do you have them write in that or like just read like a line reader or like they write in
you could
the
use it both ways as a line reader or as a writer.
okay. I haven't ever used it as a writer. I didn't think of it like that, but you could.
Uh-huh. Yep, and it automatically controls the size of the letters.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
usually, if it's a vision issue, right? It's a vision visual
Vis-
motor.
Interesting. It's
Right?
interesting. Yeah. I'm glad my kids settled down so I could hear you.
No worries.
Well, I appreciate your time. I know I've probably exceeded your time. I completely appreciate it. But yes, I am definitely going to tell them about it. Hopefully they will start using it. And then I'll let you know what she says. Like if she,
Sure.
whatever she says.
Yeah, call if you have questions. The whole point is I really think like we as OTs should be helping one another and you
Yeah.
know, because it's such an awesome profession. I think
It is. And I would love for school to be able to address more what would be on your screener than what I feel like sometimes we get caught, you know.
and I can customize it for your school if need be, and so
Oh, yeah, be awesome. Like this is wonderful. Well, I definitely needed your help. I don't think I ever would have found it.
no worries.
I would have had to force. I guess I didn't write enough notes then. But yes, no, I will let you know what she says, but this was very helpful. Thank you.
My pleasure. You have a wonderful day, and thank you for letting me post the video. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, bye.
Bye. All right. And